This is a Harper Guys production.
The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
But good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the 8?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck Neil Diamond.
Our dream of deathmatch is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Hoo-ah. Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker.
I want the ability to time travel.
Dumb. This is stupid. Welcome to the Hopper, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jake. With me, as always, my co-host, Adam.
That's right.
Welcome aboard episode number 103. Adam, as always, getting us started with a little PSA action.
It's fucking bullshit. Just had to say that. Here we go. PSA. Welcome to the number one I can't speak. Welcome to the number one common sense podcast in the world. Episode 103. Visit us at theharperguys.com, where you can also find our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube links. You can also find us everywhere podcasts are found. Ideas, complaints, or just want to say hello? Email us at theharperguys@gmail.com.
Woo! For those of you that are part of the Hateful Eight and have been watching us on YouTube for years, if you notice, there's a slight change to the backdrop tonight.
Well, what is it? What could it be?
It could be the new national championship banner for those Kansas Jayhawks. What's up?
I think it might actually be like legible, or not legible, but visible.
Yeah. So pretty badass for all the talking about sports we do on this show. My team, since I was a child, for college basketball, Rock Chalk motherfucking Jayhawk, bringing home that national fucking championship. It was all about fucking Coach K and Duke and Carolina and all this bullshit. Kansas walks into the most star-studded fucking Final Four in 20 years, fucking beats the pants off of fucking Villanova. Beat the pants off of Villanova, and then a Carolina team that was way better than a number 8 that had dudes hurt off and on all fucking year. That team didn't play anything like an 8 in that tournament. That team was ranked in the top 10 to start the season. They were a legitimate team, and they got their asses basically handed to them in the second half of that game.
We all know if Kentucky hadn't lost to
everybody going to sleep at fucking halftime of that game. Just remember, a couple weeks. Time goes fast.
Kentucky got beat by a 15 or a 16?
15. Fucked up my one bracket.
I mean, that hadn't happened. They would have been the champions of the world.
Duke still would have had to play fucking Kentucky.
I know. Kentucky would have won. Then it would have been Kentucky versus Kansas. A couple Ks.
A couple blue blood Ks.
The KYs would have slid right in there to the winner.
Hey, I don't care. It's one of the great things ever. If you go back and you look at the history of this tournament, what Kansas did in the second half of all fucking games in that tournament is they whooped everybody's ass in the second half of every game. Everybody went to bed at halftime.
You know what?
The greatest comeback in national championship game history. The greatest comeback in national championship game history. 18 points down. And brought the fucking wood in the second half.
The wood?
Yes. So, for those of you that are fucking part of our Northeast Ohio crew, sorry. I know you've only been through this one time, but your championship was epic to come back from. So, I enjoyed an epic comeback. Now it's part of the fucking legacy for fucking life down here until I get the next championship banner, which might be in June with them Colorado Avalanche.
Hockey doesn't go on the wall here. I'm sorry. Big 3 only.
We're going to be putting the pay-per-view wrestling match between Adam and I on to see what goes on the fucking wall.
Jake's got to make weight first.
I'm never going to make weight to your weight class. How many fucking limbs you chopping off, dog?
I am running. You're going to watch me running away from Jake. That's the pay-per-view.
You're going to watch Adam beat the shit out of me with one arm and one leg. I'm good, but I can't fucking fight Adam with fucking one arm. I get my ass kicked.
All right. I mean, we might have a championship in February. Covering up, Kansas.
Well-
a little brown and orange.
Oh, is that where we're starting?
No, that's
All
not
right.
where we start. That's where I just covering up the wall. We'll just have to pepper the wall with.
Hey, I think that we're going to have like a 1 year until the new champion is crowned, to where whatever happens, if we got to move other shit around, Kansas is here for 1 year.
I'm
until
sorry.
they're no longer
If the
reigning
Browns-
champions.
If the Browns win the World Series, I almost said
The World's Championship?
If the Browns win the Super Bowl, hell, if they even make it, they might just get their banner posted up there.
Don't be that guy.
You know what? That's something that pisses me off. You know what? I've watched 2 or 3 Indians teams go to the World Series.
Yeah.
And everybody is so fucking bona fide, whatever you want to say, that they didn't win it.
They didn't win it.
Okay. Still a great fucking team. I should hate my team now. People, they can't win shit. You know what?
But they don't.
You don't. Okay. Obviously, sports are measured by championships. We know that. But as a fan, I measure by how good my teams are because I wasn't like Jake, at 10 years old, 12 years old, I'm going to take this team and this one and that one. No, I'm born here. This is what I'm stuck with.
That's okay. You're allowed to have your perspective. I'm allowed to have mine.
Yeah,
you
I'm
trying to tell
just-
me I'm wrong for the way I picked my teams?
I didn't
just
say
because
you're
it wasn't
wrong.
conventional.
I just said
I've been through
I'm
just as
not
much
like
heartache,
you.
if not more.
Okay, but you picked your teams based on championships.
I did not. I picked Notre Dame for their helmets. I picked Kansas based on the script lettering. I picked Dallas based on Dirk. I picked San Francisco based on Bonds. I picked Colorado because they were brand new and they were an expansion team. They weren't even fucking relevant.
You've told me nonstop how Kansas's history.
Oh, now that I know it, but that's not why I originally became a Kansas fan.
We're gonna have to read your diary.
That's fine. I love that script, that old script lettering that they used to have on them jerseys. I thought it was cool as hell looking. So that's why I fucking jumped on I had no idea anything about Kansas
It
back
had nothing
then.
to do that they when in that time period that they were in the Final Four like 4 times in a row. I
What?
keep seeing this team. I love them.
Oh, man.
Anyways, let's get to the. What do we got to do here?
Get on to
Mr.
brass
Wolf?
fucking taxes.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
A fucking man. Here we go. Oh, before we do, this episode of The Harper brought to you by Miller High Life and what are you chewing over there?
Oh, and Copenhagen Southern Blend. Oh, and if I didn't mention it, also brought to you by the National Championship Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, you know those infomercials right after the championships? Jake actually pushed buy on it.
Oh, I was online within like 20 minutes. As soon as they were done with one shining moment, I'm like, my one shining moment.
All right, real quick, something relevant in our world. It's pissing me off because
Well, it's already evaporated, but go ahead.
no, it has not.
We already saw it happen yesterday.
What?
Gas jumped 35 fucking cents again.
Up.
Back up to $4.
Okay. That's my point. Gas prices. Now, as a middle-aged man, I pay way more attention to gas prices than I probably should.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me not to remember in 2016-ish, the summer of 2016, where it busted below $1 for a short time. Gas per gallon, $1. We'll just say it was $1. Did go below. I remember taking a picture when it was 69 cents. Maybe it was $1.69. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe it was below.
Maybe it was below 2 is what I was. Maybe that's where I was thinking. It was like $1.69. I do have that picture. Plus the 69, right? But anyways, Biden got elected, and one of the first things he did, and one of his
Campaign promises?
was to stop fracking oil, shut that shit down, close the pipeline down that we were all.
The Keystone?
Yeah, it was like we were oil independent.
Energy independent across the board.
And I knew, you knew at that moment, at some point in his tenure, gas is going to go through the roof. Just because now we got to go fucking pay the tariffs and all this other shit on gas and oil.
Yep.
You have to be pretty much retarded. Now I know, Greenpeace and all them are probably like yelling up through the screen going, no, you're killing the earth. And yeah, well, whatever. You're still purchasing the oil. Why not make it here and refine it here? That way you're not, then those cargo ships and how are your they're not on the ocean. You are saving some fuel, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, bottom line is, I saw the other day, this was about 2 weeks ago, because we haven't recorded in about 4 weeks. Actually, the day we recorded last, we were talking about Deshaun Watson with the Browns, and the very next day, he became a Cleveland Brown. We'll get into that here in a minute. So it's been a while, at least a month. So Biden's on TV saying, we're going to set this relief. Like he wants to be a fucking hero all of a sudden. We're going to have this relief program. We're going to dip into the National Reserve of Oil. Apparently they just got barrels sitting somewhere. And we're going to dip into this and we're going to bring it back and it's going to lower gas prices. Now, that really didn't happen in a lot of places. It did happen in Ohio.
For 5 minutes.
It went down from 408 to like where I live. I know up in Cleveland where I work, or near where I work, it's still around 380. But down here, it was like at my gas station, where it's usually the cheapest, is about 364. Which, hey, it's a mind fuck. You're at 408 now. All of a sudden, 360 fucking five looks pretty fucking good.
Fill her up.
Fucking good.
Yeah.
So I want to read something here.
All right.
Gas prices, yeah. When Trump was in office, gas dropped below $2. Yeah. U.S. was non-dependent on any foreign oil. Joe Biden has fucked the common man. I hope all of you that voted for him are enjoying your $80 fill-ups at the station. That's it.
Yeah. You can't fix stupid, man.
Why is the pipeline so bad for liberals?
Because they're extracting oil out of North America. Like, that's basically what it comes down to.
Is that bad?
I mean, to them, it is.
I mean, they're extracting oil in Saudi Arabia.
Right. So the idea that this particular group of people has is you can dig up your own backyard and you can send that oil over here, but don't be digging here in the States.
But it didn't stop oil production in the U.S. It just stopped a certain kind of oil production.
I'm not arguing with you. The whole thing's fucking ludicrous. It's a big fucking game is all it is.
People, this is the common sense fucking moment, right? For this common sense fucking podcast. Our owner for a company that I formerly worked for loved everything in-house. Because guess what? He didn't have to pay extra to have fucking shit done. I mean, he couldn't do everything in-house, but 85% of it was. Yeah. It's very fucking smart. Now, you're looking at the country. If you're non-dependent on other countries for certain products, it makes you stronger.
You're talking about a group of people, though, that don't want to be self-reliant.
Why?
Because they don't. They want the government, quote unquote, to hand them everything, even though they're handing it to them from other taxpayers. They have this idea that the federal government is giving them shit. They're not giving them anything. It's all coming from other taxpayers. But there's so many people that don't want to be self-reliant, that want things to be fucking handed to them by the government. People that are bitching about mask mandates, that want them put back into place. Motherfuckers, you can wear 4 if you need to. Don't fucking tell me I gotta wear one fucking anywhere.
Listen, I don't know. These generations coming up behind ours have no fucking clue what this company was fucking built on. Our generation is at the tail end of that. Mom and pop shops. I can remember me and my best bud driving downtown Wadsworth, going into a bike shop, a pet store, another sporting goods stores. I can tell you the names of these places.
I get it.
A donut shop that somehow survived.
Right. Because it became classic.
It became classic, and you know what? It almost folded during the COVID era. So,
yep.
The small towns could actually survive on themselves,
right,
for the most part.
Yeah.
Can't do that shit anymore.
Right.
Now everything's big box stores and yada, yada, yada. But why in the world wouldn't the country, you're talking about people don't want to be self-reliant, but why wouldn't the country want to kind of get back to our roots of like, we can fucking build this, we can make this, look at fucking us.
But a lot of people feel that way. That's the problem, is like everything is so polarized. You're either left or you're right. Like there's hardly any room left for anybody to be middle ground
we
anymore.
Should be Americans, not,
I don't disagree with you.
As they keep re-quoting, not the blue states and the red states. Fuck that shit.
Hey, even the dumbest people in my family I love. So
right.
I agree with you.
We are all Americans. We should fucking act like all Americans. I mean, this is so stupid. Whatever, if the government is doing all these trends and making us think a certain way, whatever side you're on, we need to liquefy that shit, bring it back together a little bit, and get these people out of office. I'm not just talking about Biden. I'm talking about senators, House of Representatives. Get some new blood in there. And you know what? Because if we can reduce the term limits or remove or add term limits, that's what I wanted to say. Add some term limits. Every 8 years, you might have somebody different. And they may not always be good, but guess what? It's only for 4 to 8 years, and then there's somebody else.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that it's going to be an important thing that's going to come up again sooner than later. I think if over the next 4 years, if Republicans take back control, it'll end up getting through.
Well, there's some things in motion, and we're going to talk about it in this show, that conservative side and anybody with half a brain are going to be a little bit happy about.
Yeah.
Next, do you have anything on gas prices or anything else you want to talk about?
Not on the road of gas prices. I mean, like you said, Biden that tried to somehow come out as a hero in this, like somebody punches you in the face and knocks you to the ground and then offers you a hand to help you back up. That's not somebody being your friend. Like, people need to get out of the ideal that the people in Washington are actually trying to serve them right now. They are self-serving all the way. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Like, if I was in fucking Biden's position, everything that fucking has gone on with his fucking son is the most underhanded shit of all time. If that shit had been under the last president's fucking reign, they would have fucking burnt his fucking family.
That's
at the
all you would
stake
hear about.
for the
You
entire
wouldn't hear
fucking
any
thing.
Deshaun Watson bullshit. All you'd hear about is Biden and his family fucking shit up.
You mean Trump and his family? If it had been them,
I'm saying if Biden was treated like Trump was,
oh, dude,
that's all we would hear about.
his son would be in fucking jail already. It'd be a fucking shit show.
From the moment Trump was in office, it was, well, we can impeach him. There was no even basis. Whoopi Goldberg said that the day he got elected.
It's hilarious.
Well, you're not my president. Fuck you guys. Fuck all of you. If you don't believe that he's your president,
Yeah.
or anybody that's your president, you know what? I didn't vote for Joe Biden, but he's still my fucking president. I don't have to like him. That's why I'm on here fucking bitching about him.
Right.
But you know what? He's still my fucking president.
We're stuck with him for now.
Anybody that says that a president in office is not your president, then fucking go to Canada and good luck trying to get in because they don't want your ass either.
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
You're not going to... I am so excited about this next one.
Okay.
Topic is shitty drivers.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
All right.
I fucking figured it out.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to share this with everybody. I actually sent the topics to Jake and I deleted all my answers because I didn't want him to see this in advance. I thought, let me just read this so I don't get it wrong. I thought the bad drivers were because they didn't pay attention during driver's ed. Either they're just plain stupid or because they got their driver's license out of a Cracker Jacks box. I'm fucking completely wrong. I pulled up to the ATM the other day, right after I got gas at $4 a gallon. And on the gas pump near the area you pay and at the ATM where there's Braille. There's Braille on fucking both of them.
Yeah.
The people are fucking blind.
Is that what it is?
That is where we're getting these bad. They're just fucking blind. And I knew it when I saw it. I'm like, you slap myself in the forehead. I'm like, that fucking makes sense.
It's because people are on their phones all the time when they're driving. That's the problem.
Why in the fuck do we have Braille on ATM machines that you have to drive up to and a gas pump?
I don't know. I didn't put them in.
There is not one reason for that.
What if you have a passenger in your back seat that's legally blind but can still see? So you pull up to where the person that's behind the driver's seat actually uses
Unless
the
you
ATM.
have a blind person in your back seat paying for everything you do, there is no reason to have Braille.
Good. What if you're the driver?
If you're the driver, get off the fucking road.
No. What if you're the driver for the blind person sitting behind you?
Unless you're driving Miss Daisy and in that movie she's blind.
I'm just saying. That's why. Like, it's for the outliers.
No. It should not be a thing. I'm sorry. If I have a blind person with me, give me the card. Tell me your PIN. I got it. You can't see what I'm doing anyways. I mean, how long would that take?
It depends on how quick they are. They've done it a bunch. Blind people are pretty fast.
They're up on the window. People. You don't have to be politically correct at the gas pump and at the ATM. Fuck this shit.
Oh, shit.
And we will go into bad drivers. I am on the highway way much more than I am. And I just see about 5%. It's not a lot of people, but 5% got that fucking phone in there. And I start fucking honking.
Oh, like a madman.
Beep! And sometimes it scares them. Sometimes they're like this. They give you the fucking finger. You're going to give me the finger. You're risking my life as well as your own.
Yep.
And whoever else you hit.
Pretty much.
How can this be a thing?
I don't know.
How can it be a thing? I can understand peeking at your phone, but when you see these faces and they're just straight down, I'm like, how are you doing this? You're getting good at it, but you're not that good at it because at some point you will crash.
Yeah. I don't know. If you want to get rid of the Braille so bad, I don't know. I feel like you should cling to something else. Like there's got to be a bigger cause out there because the Braille doesn't affect you negatively.
I'm not gonna start a campaign on the Braille. I just don't understand it. I would like somebody that produces these type of machines or whatever to tell me why.
Yeah.
What was the consensus that put this over the top?
Yeah.
That we need Braille at the gas pumps.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea.
Wow.
Well,
all right.
hopefully we can stop the insanity at some point.
Got a big day tomorrow.
Tomorrow is going to be fucking awesome.
NFL draft.
That's right.
Cleveland Browns, Chicago Bears don't have a pick in the first round, and it's like 19 hours long.
It's still going to be exciting.
It's going to be fun.
Who's
got the first pick?
Detroit.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what a kick in the nuts.
But it's
Their guy goes to LA, wins it all, and they're stuck with the first fucking pick.
But one of the top 3 players in the draft is from Michigan. And there's a pretty good chance he goes number 1 tomorrow night. Staying at home. Hutchinson, defensive end from Michigan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Ate your quarterback's lunch in that game. Like, he's a problem coming off the edge. He's the next Bosa-esque type defensive end, high motor.
It's Detroit.
He's a hunter. Yeah, I'm just saying. By the law of averages, at some point, even Detroit turns it around. People forget that Detroit went to 3 playoff games under Stafford. I mean, like...
Did they win any?
No. They were 0-3, but they went to the playoffs 3 times.
Well,
Cleveland's been to the playoffs twice in 20 years.
Well, they also got fucking railroaded
I'm just saying.
for 20 years. But anyways, I mean, I could go over that one for the next. We could have a 12-hour show on how the fucking Browns got fucking railroaded for 20 years. But anyways,
Okay.
Detroit had 2 pretty good guys on offense through those years, Stafford and Megatron. Obviously, they had to have other pieces to make it to the playoffs.
Sure.
But those are some pretty big names at the time, enough to put you over the top to at least get to a playoff game. Obviously, not win one. But they always had guys for a decade, almost a decade, 9 years. Barry Sanders, never put nobody around him.
That's not true. Herman Moore led the league in catches twice. First player to catch 100 balls, and he did it twice.
Okay, but they never made the playoffs with Barry, did they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They went to the NFC Championship game.
Okay, well, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric Kramer was their quarterback for it, I think.
Okay, well, good for Barry to get that far, but
Yeah.
I always thought he didn't even make the playoffs.
But then he got like 6 carries in that game. They got their asses handed to him. Got blown out.
I would just keep carrying it or giving it to him. No. If you lose giving the ball to Barry Sanders, okay.
Well, it didn't quite work out that way.
Yeah.
So,
Tell sweetness about that.
we doing the draft? Are we doing the Browns? Are we doing the whole thing? Or
I want to talk about the Browns first.
okay.
Did they finally sell their soul? I
don't know what that means.
You don't know what that means.
No.
Deshaun Watson.
What
We
about him?
have people like the Tomes who can go to fucking hell in a handbasket. We're giving up our PSL. We're never coming to another game because of Deshaun Watson and what he's done off the field.
We don't want Jim Thome in Cleveland anyway.
I know. But what I'm asking is,
It's dumb there's a statue of him. That thing should be fucking torn down.
I'm going to put a pair of panties around his waist, really big ones. I guess where I'm going is, for years, and this is probably one of the reasons why the Browns have sucked for so long, is because we've always got good, upstanding people. Not that that's a bad thing. I try to be a good, upstanding person. I know Jake does as well. But at some point, you need a couple rough guys, tough guys, whatever. You know, you bring in in the old wrestling WWF, there was the bad guys and the good guys.
The heel.
Yeah, right. Or like the Cavs Perkins. What was his name?
Kendrick.
Kendrick Perkins.
You gotta have a goon, man.
He don't come in just because he's good. He comes in to take you out.
Right.
But we've always been the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Have you? Have you? I mean, how many times has Gordon been suspended?
Well,
Kareem Hunt won the Ray Guy Award.
Okay, we brought Kareem Hunt in after that.
But that's what I'm saying. And
Okay.
you tried to bring Gordon back like 4 times.
All right, well, that was smoking dope. I'm sure a lot of people in this world don't think that smoking weed is a. It's not like beating your fucking girlfriend.
I'm just saying, like, there is good luck finding a pro team,
My
especially
point
in
is
the
this.
league, that's like that.
Pittsburgh Steelers won 2 Super Bowls with a rapist.
With a rapist that wrecked a motorcycle.
And almost died. It didn't happen.
It's fucked up.
The Ravens, former Browns, won 2 Super Bowls with a fucking murderer.
Mm-hmm.
So why not go after this guy? And I have a thought on this whole Deshaun Watson, 22. That seems like awful fucking much. I think if it was like 3 or 4, I probably would believe it. When you get into the fucking 20s, at some point, it's almost like signing a petition. How many names can we get on this list?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the guy's innocent or not because I have no fucking clue, but it seems it's starting to lead. It leads more towards a bunch of bullshit than not bullshit. I don't know. Either he's really fucking stupid, or somebody's trying to railroad his ass. Now, should he be in massage parlors? That many of them? No. But anyways.
Well, I don't know. I think that the Browns made the right move.
Oh, he's an upgrade.
If you're trying to win a championship, you need to have championship caliber players. And when you have the opportunity to go out and get one, you go out and get one. So I think that what they're doing is right. I think that they have the core of this team built in a way that they're championship caliber. If they can put the pieces together and they can be as good as they're supposed to be on the field.
All right, so give me a number right now because you've told me a couple things, and to me they're very positive. But how many games, you can even say 0, will Deshaun Watson get suspended for in 2022?
I mean, worst case scenario is 4.
But what do you think?
I think it's going to be either 0 or 2.
So we'll put you at 2.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's less than 4, but I'm going to go with 4 because I think the league will still try to make something of him. Now, if some of these things play out to where, I mean, I don't even know. Are we even going to find out? He's going to just pay these girls off to shut them
no.
up.
He
said he's not going to do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out what the fuck happened.
He's ready to fight.
So but how long could that take? Because they said they were going to push some of that shit back after this season.
Who knows,
So
man?
he might not get suspended. So let's say a couple of these go and they find him guilty on a couple of them. He might not get suspended until 2023.
That's what I'm saying. And he already basically missed the entire last. He missed the entire last season because Houston wasn't going to put him on the field with all this shit going on. So he's basically been suspended for a season already.
So you could argue time served.
I think you can. I mean, you only got so many years that you're fucking viable in the league.
Yeah.
So you start ripping off years at a fucking time.
Man, you watch his tape. He is a bad motherfucker on the field.
Oh, dude. People forget that 2 years ago, the last game that this motherfucker played. Do you know the last game he played? They were up 24-3 in the second quarter against Kansas City in the playoffs before Kansas City came rolling back and won that game by 21. That dude was unstoppable. The rest of his team let him down.
Defense, obviously.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. But not even just that. Guys dropping balls and, like, the talent that he had there on offense, not even close to comparable to what Cleveland has.
Well, he had
this
Hopkins
team is
then, didn't he?
One guy.
One guy.
We
got one guy.
Had Carlos Hyde to go with him.
Amari,
I mean, trash.
Amari.
You'll end up with another receiver before it's all said. But even if you don't, you still got Donald Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, I know.
To go with all of your fucking tight ends.
And there is another one.
And 2 badass running backs.
There is a rookie wideout that didn't have a very good season in his rookie year. Number 10 from, I think, Kansas State. I can never remember his name.
Oh, he's a ninja.
Yeah, he's a speedster.
Yeah.
If he fucking light bulb goes off, look out.
I know. The biggest problem you got with your Browns is Baker. At what point do you take a 4th-round pick for this guy to get him the fuck out of Cleveland?
So, listen. When I wrote down this topic 4 weeks ago, or however many weeks ago it was, when we didn't get to podcast, I also wrote right underneath it, it's on here, now what happens to Baker Mayfield? At that moment, I was concerned. At this moment, I don't fucking give a fuck about Baker Mayfield all of a sudden. You know, honestly, he was I was on his side. I was going to get more than willing to give him another shot. But the honest reality is he was always a question mark.
Yeah.
You just weren't sure.
It was the bad Cleveland luck, man. If Cleveland had that first round pick in a different year, it would have been a guy like Lawrence. But instead you got Baker. You know? What are you going to do?
I don't want Lawrence. I know you still think he's going to be a fucking beast, but I don't want Lawrence.
That's
we got
silly.
Deshaun Watson.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, so they're both top end talents. Deshaun has proved that he can do it. Lawrence has a ways to go, but Peyton Manning was 1-15 as a rookie. So let's not start dumping.
Did Lawrence break the interception record that Peyton set?
I don't think he ended up breaking it. I don't think he was even close.
He's
Was he?
not going to be Peyton Manning. Boom.
That's fine.
I don't think he's going to be anything close. I think he's going to be a bust.
I don't.
I think he's going to try hard for 3 years, and it's going to end up he's going to be a Tua Tagovailoa, whatever.
Don't give up on that guy yet. I don't know if you realize that they have Tyreek Hill, and that team is fucking built to the fucking hilt. So
that's something.
Anybody that's sleeping on Tua Tagovailoa isn't paying attention.
Well, not now because he's got the fucking.
But he played well last year.
Oh, he played okay.
No, he played well, especially the second half of the season. That dude was hurt like a motherfucker before the season started. He got his shit together, and he played well in the second half of the season. Okay. Fucked up the Patriots. Fucked him up.
So that's what we should probably talk about before the draft. Some of these big moves. We haven't had a chance to even talk about this shit.
Insane.
So Tyreek goes to Miami. Why would they trade him? Explain that shit to me.
It's all about the money. So Tyreek Hill.
Isn't it all about winning, though, as well?
Tyreek Hill is now making $30 million a year as a wide receiver. They replaced him with Juju Smith-Schuster for $6 million. I'll take my chances with old Patty Mahomes and filling in some guys around him. Tom Brady won championships with nobody at wide receivers you can even name.
I'm going to tell you what. When I saw the Chiefs on the field, you worried you obviously Kelsey's a threat, and he's probably one of the guy they throw to the most.
Still there.
But the reason why Kelsey was open, and you're going to see this, the reason why he's open so much is because they had two guys on fucking the freak. And it's going to change shit. No one's double teaming fucking Juju fucking
if you don't
Browns is the Browns.
All right, man. I'm just saying with Juju and Scantling, you don't have to like them, but they're both good. And they're both going to be a problem. They're both big, rangy wide receivers.
It's not going to be the same, and he's going to miss him. They're going to miss him.
Okay. I'm just saying that I think that with what they're paying Mahomes, there's no way they could afford to pay Tyreek Hill what that contract would have warranted.
Well, listen to this logic.
Same reason they're talking about trading DK out of Seattle.
Speedy, crazy, fast, juking, moving players like Tyreek is over in Baltimore, the quarterback, Lamar. He's one of those guys, right? Would you agree? You take him off the field. Now, I know Huntley did okay, but you take Jackson off the field, you feel better about things if you're playing them.
It's a different team. You feel better about things. You have to defend differently. It's just going to be a different team without Tyreek on that field, man. It's just going to be different. We'll see. I don't know. I think Kansas City's still going to be really, really good.
I mean, Pat still does have his mom fucking protecting him on Twitter, which I hope that Elon fucking blocks her ass. I said ask. She blocks her ass.
That's funny.
Did you ever see that funny home video where the little girl says, "I can't. He's going to kick my ass."
No.
Everything she says is ask.
No.
And the mom is laughing. She goes, "You can't." She knows what she means. You can't say that word. It's a bad word. Oh, well, I didn't know.
No, I haven't seen that one.
I was afraid he's going to kick my ass.
My ass.
My ass. Okay. So Baker, what's going to happen to Baker?
I'm saying at some point.
So
they picked up that fifth-year option, which they had to do because of the situation they were in at the time, to where they're on the hook for him for $18 million unless they trade him. You take a third, a fourth, whatever you can get for him, and fucking get him out of town.
So smart teams, unless they really want him, smart teams are just going to wait for the Browns to release his ass and go pick him up. But now, if there's more than one team that wants him, then maybe somebody will do something.
Maybe.
It seems like his stock went.
Well, part of it, the problem is that he was late to the party. If that move had happened earlier, before all these other quarterbacks got moved around, they would have had a much easier time moving Baker.
So, we need a prediction. Where is he going?
Detroit.
Best guess.
Detroit.
He's taking over Goff's job?
I don't know if he's going to necessarily take over the job, but I think they're going to end up with both of those guys in the room.
So you think that which that kind of makes sense. So you think that Goff's got the job, but he's on a short leash for Baker?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yep. I think that it's the most practical place for him to go. I think it's outside of the conference to where you don't mind trading him to a team like Detroit. Even if he goes up there and blows up, you only play them once every 4 years, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? He's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? And let's be honest, I think in some ways Detroit would be a best case scenario for Baker. The expectation on him will be severely diminished compared to what the expectation would be on him if you trade him to like Seattle. You go to Seattle, you better fucking show.
Right.
Because the 12th man ain't going to put up with that shit.
So why has there been so much talk about Carolina? Don't they have Sam Darnold, or they don't
They
like
do,
him
but
anymore?
dude, they paid all that money for Sam Darnold last year and benched his ass.
They benched him.
Yeah, now their coach fucked up and came out and said that he's their starting quarterback, and he was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
He did say that?
He literally said that, and he literally like followed it up with literally the second sentence behind that was, oops, I shouldn't have said that. And everybody's like, so the first thing you did as a head coach was
he's a new head coach.
was commit to fucking Darnold being your quarterback.
Okay, so
But they're going to draft a quarterback.
So there's 4 scenarios in my mind. Seattle, which sounds like they're high on Geno Smith.
They got him and the kid from Denver that they traded for, Locke.
Right, but still, Baker, there's still some upsides if Baker plays well in Seattle. Detroit, Carolina, and then the place that I don't want him to go. Pittsburgh. Because I think Pittsburgh is in a similar situation as Detroit. They've got some, I know you don't because you're a fucking, fanboy Trubisky, but from the outside looking in and not with no stock in Trubisky, I feel like those situations are very similar. And honestly, Seattle's kind of the same. Geno has never proved himself. He's proved he can run that offense. I watched him. He's proved that he can do it, but it seems like he can do it for like 2.5, 3 quarters, and then he falls apart. And maybe Baker's the same thing. Maybe they're not any higher on him than Geno, but it seems like all these teams are kind of like in the same situation. They've got somebody, but maybe they want somebody that could be the guy. Another question, Baker, the question mark.
Most of the teams that you mentioned are gonna draft a quarterback. They might not be in round 1, but somewhere in this draft, because there's going to be some quarterbacks.
Insurance.
But there's some weird players in this draft, man. Like this draft is not going to be like drafts over the last 5 years. It's the weirdest draft you're going to see for quite a while. It'll be a while before we see this again.
I might not see it on Thursday.
The quarterbacks are not like last year. There were 5 quarterbacks that were primed and ready to go for the draft, right? 5 of them. The 5th one drafted was Mac Jones. You think New England's happy with getting Mac Jones 2/3 of the way through the first round? Fucking ecstatic. Right? You know what that guy would cost them this year? He would have been the number 1 overall pick for sure in this draft. So you don't have that this year. What you have is the craziest crop of wide receivers and running backs I've seen in 10 years in a singular draft.
Okay.
To where you're going to see teams that are building. Now, what's going to get weird is when you get into the quarterbacks. You got a kid like Willis from Liberty. Super duper athletic, rocket arm, shotgun system the whole way through college, has not played under center ever. So like the learning curve for this kid is going to be a little bit steep. You got the Pickett kid from Pitt. Everybody picks on him about his tiny hands. The kid can sling the rock. Like he's going to end up being there for somebody. I don't know if you know who Matt Corral is from Ole Miss. He's super talented, had a couple knee injuries in college, had a phenomenal year last year. The first series of their bowl game got hurt. And ended up missing the rest of the game. But then, you have a guy like, have you ever heard of Sam Howell?
No.
Sam Howell was a quarterback from North Carolina. If he would have come out after his junior year last year, he would have been in that 5 quarterback. He would have been the 6th quarterback in that group, and he would have gone in the first round. They're talking about that guy falling to the 3rd or 4th round. He lost all 4 of his major weapons, both running backs, both wide receivers, to the NFL. His numbers fell apart his senior year because he had a bunch of sophomores that didn't know what the hell they were doing. So some team is going to latch on to a kid like that in 3rd or 4th round, stockpile him away for a rainy day, and see what happens. So we're there's going to be some quarterback gems, but there's going to be some quarterback swings and misses in this draft too. The locks are the wide receivers.
Okay, now we got to do something else.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
Get your pen.
Okay.
On this piece of paper, I want you to write number 1, number 2. I want to know who's going 1 and 2. Because I know you know who's going 1 and 2.
I don't know who's going 1 and 2.
Who's going number 1?
I'm going to guess Hutchinson.
Who's Hutchinson?
He's the defensive end from Michigan.
Okay, so put Hutchinson 1. Who's drafting 2?
Jacksonville, right? Or is it the Jets? I don't have it in front of me.
Let me look.
I think it's Jacksonville.
All right. Who do you think they go for?
Jacksonville, offensive lineman. For fucking sure. I forget his name. There's one big badass lineman that's going to go.
You don't have to say his name.
I forget who he is, but it is a sweet ass offensive lineman that's probably going to go second. Like
let me verify.
almost no questions asked. And that's what they need for Trevor. And then the Jets are probably going to go with a giant oogly moogly wide receiver.
I just wanted to know we could do top 3. Round 1, it says round 1 Jacksonville. Then Detroit. Then Houston. For all 7 rounds.
There you go. I thought Detroit had the first pick. See, after all this talk.
So put O-line number 1. You're saying Jacksonville?
Yeah.
O-line. Mm-hmm. And then Houston. Boy, who would they even take? I have no clue.
They need a ton of help.
Yeah. So we'll just do the 1-2. Now, so to round out the 4 picks that I want to note. So we've got Jacksonville, Detroit. Bears pick second round where?
They're like fairly early in the second. I think they're the 7th or 8th pick in the second.
Whether they listen to Jake Keeber or not, what should they pick?
There's only 2 positions, period. You either pick an offensive lineman or a wide receiver, whichever one has a guy that falls to you.
Write down what they're going to do. I want you to note it.
If you want me to pick it, then Chicago's going to be offensive line too.
Chicago O-line.
They're probably going to take a guard because that's going to be the best value pick that's going to be there. Super talented guy, but he plays on the interior to where his price tag is a little bit less, but that's what they need. They need badass mofos on their offensive line.
So we're going to leave this paper down here for next time, and it'll be right here waiting on us.
Okay, and then the other one's the
Browns. Now, I would say, now, obviously you know a lot more in depth of the teams, but I do know this team somewhat.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're pretty glaring. The biggest hole I can see is another wide receiver.
And if one of these guys falls, it's quite possible that they draft a wide receiver there. The only other position I would think that would be considered would be like a defensive tackle or a defensive end. Because you don't have Clowney re-signed right now to where and Clowney proved last year.
He played well.
If you put somebody on the other side of Miles that has a motor, you got no choice but to single block one of them.
Yeah.
And the other one becomes a problem.
I don't know why there's the holdup on getting Clowney back.
Because he wants a multi-year deal.
Why don't you give him one?
The guy's missed a lot of fucking time. Like, he's a risk. Like, a $10 million a year for his position, it's not a bad deal for the Browns, but you commit $30 million to this guy and he plays 6 games in 3 years, that hurts a championship caliber team.
Well, like Deshaun Watson, I guarantee you there's a clause in there. There's guaranteed money unless you get busted at a massage parlor again.
I wish that there would be part of this Browns defense, though, that would become hyper aggressive.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is inside the NFL these days, if you leave a quarterback stand back there, he will kill you.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Right.
Like, everybody clings to the Rodgers and the Bradys and those kind of guys. If
So
you let Carson Wentz stand back there like he did last year with the offensive line he had, yes, he fell apart the last 2 games of the season. Homeboy had 24 touchdowns and 9 interceptions last year.
I still like Carson Wentz.
Carson
I'm
Wentz lighting mofos up.
I'm on the lower echelon of that, but I like Carson Wentz, and I think that people were talking about the moves, and I'm like, man, fucking trade Baker for Carson. I would take that in a heartbeat. But I told a few people that, not you.
Yeah.
And they were like, boo, fucking Carson Wentz.
Right.
I still like him.
Yeah.
He's a guy that won a Super Bowl and didn't play in the Super Bowl.
Hey, got a ring.
Got the bling ring.
That's right. No matter how you get it, Bernie got one.
So, yeah, that I would either say if the best player on the board, if it's a defensive end or wide receiver, that's where I would go.
But what I was trying to say is if you're not going to do that, find a serviceable defensive end and start using Owasu to let him hunt your quarterback down. Dude, you do not want that guy making a living coming off the edge. Nobody wants that. If the Browns would use that guy right, game absolute changer.
I think they started to.
Dude, you can't block that guy with one guy on the edge. He's too fast.
He definitely did one play right.
He's a murderer,
dude.
dude.
Fucking Lamar Jackson
on his
out.
ass.
No, out of the.
He did.
Done.
But
now it wasn't even dirty. He just grabbed his feet and tripped him. But
dude, he's a stud. Absolute animal.
Love him.
Stole that guy in the draft off of some bullshit fucking heart murmur. That's the only reason you even got him. He would have been a top 5 pick last year. You had no business getting Owasu. If Cleveland would use that kid right, Dude,
Pretty
he's
sure
next
they're
level.
using him right.
I'm telling you, man. For all the things you tease me about being a homer about, I'm glad he came to Cleveland so you can see how good this kid is because he's that good. I don't care where he went to college. He's the best, one of the best outside linebackers in all of football already.
Wait till he puts on like
15 pounds of
15
animal.
or 20
no,
pounds?
15, dude. 15 the max.
Because
you
he's
don't
a
want to
speedster.
Yeah, but you don't. But he's also a murderer, dude. He kills people. Like, I'm telling you, like if they use that guy right, you don't have to invest $30 million in a defensive end. You can invest 18 into a defensive end and save that 12 for somebody else.
So you don't believe like they need some big honking nose tackle and just push the fucking offensive line back?
But I would love if they drafted a guy like that. You can get stalwarts like that and a guy in the second round. You know, you're not going to get the Aaron Donald. You know, you're not going to get that defensive nose tackle that's going to be up the middle, blowing up everything. You're going to get that guy that's going to eat double teams all day long because he's so big that you can't move him. The Deshaun Rodgers back in the day. Like, that's the kind of guy they need to be able to plug in those holes.
Which would free up whoever's on the end, right?
Yeah, but like there's a guy that's unsigned out there right now that's a free agent, Eddie Goldman. Dude, Eddie Goldman had 3 phenomenal years, sat out the COVID season, and he's a free agent.
Why? Now, see, the Browns have been strangely really strategic and, in my opinion, really good at picking up these kind of guys lately.
Yes,
the
they've
last
gotten
3
better.
or 4 years.
Yeah.
So
So you got Cooper and Watson this year.
Why wouldn't they go after that guy?
I would love to see it. I mean, like guys like that. Like
Maybe they're waiting on Clowney.
But there's a lot of
Clowney's
guys
stringing them along.
But there's a lot of guys that are still hanging out there on free agency this year. Like there's a lot of free agents still hanging out there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
You have anything else on the draft? Put wide receiver for the Browns.
Okay.
That's where that's my one pick.
Okay.
You
The,
got-
the
you
only
got
the only thing I'll tell you is people that live in fantasy land. If you've never heard of Jamison Williams, the wide receiver from Alabama that blew out his knee in the national championship game, that guy would have been the first receiver off the board. He's going to fall a little bit behind a couple of the other guys, most likely. He's somebody to keep an eye on. He could be a nice little fantasy stash going into next year. If he goes to Philadelphia, run for the fucking hills and stay the fuck away from him. Because if he goes to Alabama North, which is what Philadelphia will be, because they'll have Hurts at quarterback, Alabama, and then they're going to have Smith, the guy that drafted 6 overall or whatever he was last year, the guy that won the Heisman,
The little guy?
yeah, and then they put Williams on the other side. It's an all Alabama trifecta, but Hurts does not throw the ball downfield well enough unless he really makes a change. If he makes a Josh Allen-esque upgrade going into next year and can sling the ball, maybe, but I don't think it's going to happen in Philly. They like to run the ball. They like him running the ball. They like both of their running backs. You know, they play more of a controlled type offense. I don't see him becoming Patty Mahomes. So,
You think that guy that I don't know, is it the guy they had drafted last year? You just said he was the little guy.
Smith.
He just doesn't. I mean, he's a great talent for college, but he just seems too undersized for the NFL, in my opinion.
He'll be fine.
You think?
Yep.
Talk about need to put on 15.
Yeah, but he'll be fine. You don't want to take that kid's speed away from him. The thing about it is a kid like that, you just have to keep him in space. You got to keep him in good situations.
I know, but
it's up to your coaching staff.
One fucking
Oh,
open
dude,
field.
I know.
Open field.
But look how
blast.
small Hollywood is from Baltimore.
He's not that small.
He's
though.
pretty damn small. Was he 5'9", 5'8"? Homeboy's little.
I'm not talking about his height. I'm talking about the meat on the bones.
I'm just saying.
Like Tristan McKenzie running around out there.
But Smith's smooth. Smith's one of those guys, like, you don't see a lot of clean hits on him. Like, he's able to avoid the shit. So, but enjoy the draft. It's going to be fun. Enjoy seeing, like, there's going to be some crazy running back shit. There ain't going to be a running back goes tomorrow night. First running back won't go till probably sometime on Friday. And there's like 6 of them in this draft that are going to become household names.
Why is that? Running backs, when I was a kid, were the first fucking off the board.
Shelf life, dude. Shelf life and availability. Because if you look at the biggest reason none of them are going to go in the first round tomorrow is you look at every team in the league. There's one team that has a glaring hole at running back. Houston. There's not another team that you can name on paper that has a glaring hole at running back. None. Every other team is loaded up.
Well, I could, but I don't know what the
but you
rosters
can't.
are.
But like I've gone through every team trying to figure this out, and there isn't a singular one. Like any team you can name, I can tell you who their top 2 running backs are pretty much across the board, and every team is pretty well set, with the exception of Houston. So Houston, if you're making bets on teams that are going to draft players, the Houston Texans drafting Bryce Hall in the second round is almost a foregone conclusion.
Bryce Hall is a running back.
Bryce Hall is the running back in this class. He's definitely the top running back. There's 4 or 5 other ones that are right behind him, but like all things being equal, he's really, really good. But the one thing you don't hear is, oh, Bryce Hall's going to be the next Adrian Peterson. You know, nobody says that because they're not quite that level of talent. The wide receivers in this draft are. Like there's going to be Devontae Adams coming out of this draft.
I got to ask this question. is it Wilson and Olave from the Buckeyes?
Wilson definitely goes before Olave, which I was early on. The entire world sucked
Really?
off Olave before the season started. I called it that
Where do
Wilson
you
was
think,
a better receiver.
Only because we're in Ohio. Where do you think those two guys are going?
I don't know. They're going to go pretty high. I can tell you that right now. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Wilson ends up with the Jets. Because they're either going to take him or they're going to
Where
take
players go to die.
they're either going to take him or they're going to take London, the giant wide receiver from USC.
So, are the two Buckeyes the best receivers in this draft?
No, they're part of the. I mean, Wilson is up in that like top 3. Definitely, like he'll be one of the first 3 off the board. Olave will be 5, 6, or 7 somewhere around in there.
When will the first wide receiver be taken?
Early, like probably
Third round? I mean, third pick?
I would say somewhere around
Fourth
3, 4, 5, somewhere around in there. It won't take long to start having those guys come off
And
the
as
board.
soon as one gets taken, a whole bunch of other ones will get taken.
They'll fall different places, but like I said, it's a weird draft. I mean, you have some defensive players like Kyle Hamilton that is a fucking murderer as a safety. Like somebody's going to latch onto that kid high in the draft because he's a killer back there. I mean, super cerebral, but also super physical player to where there's some standout guys at some individual positions that are really going to show out. So,
Yeah, and some people that need that are going to fucking go after it.
Yep. So it should be fun.
Right on.
Enjoy the draft. And I'm making one more prediction for the draft. There's going to be some trades and shit that go down. Most years going into the draft, you hear like, oh, this player might get traded on draft night, or oh, this player might get traded on draft night. And it never fucking happens. You end up with like one guy gets moved on like day 3 that's like, oh my God, I can't believe they traded him away for 2 3s and a 4, you know? This year, you watch. There's going to be some dudes that get shuffled around tomorrow night. Some actual players.
Browns could be involved. They're always making moves.
Yeah. I did see Sashi said he wouldn't rule out moving back into the first.
What? I got to do 2 more things here.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. They got to take O-line, right? Are they in that? They got a running back. They've got a few wide receivers. Do they take a quarterback?
A lot of people have them taking quarterback.
Number 1 on their board?
Basically, if Pickett or Willis falls to them, a lot of people think that they draft that.
So if they don't take a quarterback, it's got to be O-line, right?
Most likely an offensive lineman.
Because they always have a good defense.
Right, but their secondary needs fucking help. Like, they've got Minka Fitzpatrick back there, but like...
Who needs a secondary when you got 90 fucking chasing your ass all over the place?
Yeah, but if 90 don't get home, you watch Joe Burrow light you up for 48.
I don't know.
But that's what he did. They decided to bring their tight end in. They decided that they weren't going to let Watt beat him, and Watt couldn't beat him. So he just chucked the ball downfield all game, and you can't stop Jamar Chase.
It's sad that I know the number. It's just because he's been in our fucking
He lives there.
He quarterback shit all the fucking day.
But that was stupid. With all the tight ends Cleveland had, that's the thing is you can't let a guy like that get going. You got to send fucking giant tight ends at him from the fucking first snap. By the end of the first fucking quarter, that guy should be exhausted and tired of getting fucking beat up. Yeah. That way, when you get to the fourth quarter, that guy's motor ain't fucking cranked up to 140, fucking running around people and fucking putting your tackles on their asses.
You know what I do love, though?
What?
I'm going to tell you right now, Browns fans, and you should love this too. The Browns aren't too proud when they fuck up on a guy. For instance, I'm not talking Baker Mayfield. I'm talking tight ends. We're going tight ends here. They fucking brought in Hooper, paid him all kinds of money, realized he's fucking, I'm sorry, he's dog shit.
And that you had another guy that was already here way more talented.
The third string Bryant was better than that guy.
But your other guy is a top flight fucking tight end.
And finally, they're going to invest into Njoku. They paid him some cash, franchised his ass.
You got him a quarterback that's going to be slinging.
Oh my God.
Dude, Njoku's going to be hot dice this year.
I almost just fucking,
hot dice.
Reached the mountain just right there, just thinking about it. But Njoku, been a fan favorite for a long time. The guy has had a hard time getting out of the first couple games of the season. He's got hurt a couple times, like back-to-back seasons or every other. I forget which it was, but some bad luck. But he's been healthy. He almost left when they signed Hooper.
Almost.
But you know what? He's not that kind of a guy. He really wants to play for Cleveland, and God love him.
Hey, he's here now.
But what I'm saying is they signed Hooper, then they fucking kicked his ass to the curb. They obviously ate some of that contract. And
Don't
just
matter,
said,
it's gone.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Hooper was such a stinker, man. I mean, I was high on him. I mean, I think the fans were too. You know, you hear the hoo. But the guy, you could just tell he would drop balls when he could fucking hear the footsteps. He just didn't want to get hit.
You think you bring Jarvis back?
I would love to. Jarvis Landry is a Cleveland type fan favorite, hard-nosed. If he would just stop the Odell Beckham bullshit after catching a ball and wanting to fucking taunt, he'd be the perfect guy.
He just needs to get healthy and get back to him because you're doing that shit and dropping balls last year. Hurt or not, Homeboy doesn't drop balls traditionally. He struggled last year.
I would love two guys I'd love to bring back. Clowney and Jarvis. I think that would mend a little bit of bonds. And I think the wideouts, the two big ones, I won't even give the other guy naming rights, but I think they ended up, after a while, had a problem with Baker. Now Baker's not around. Well, he might be on the bench for unlucky.
Can you imagine if he ends up on your bench and then something happens to Watson?
No.
And you have to bring
Oh,
Baker
and
in?
then he just lights the world.
This team's 12-2. Watson goes down. You got 2 games before the playoffs.
And he wins the Super Bowl, or he doesn't win a Super Bowl.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Listen, though.
Whatever it is, that situation, it would be the top fucking story in the entire country. Baker gets his job back.
No, he wouldn't get his job back. But can you imagine, what would he do at that moment? Does he tank?
No. He's auditioning, man.
Right.
To get paid millions.
Right. So for the Browns, that's a win-win.
But what do you do? What if Baker did come in? And what if Baker did lead you to the promised land? How do you cut bait? How do you cut bait, man?
Nick Foles, is he still an Eagle?
But Nick Foles wasn't the fucking catalyst for that team.
I think he was.
No, he wasn't.
He played for him.
He was the guy that was able to fucking like get it done with fucking like Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. That team wasn't about fucking Brad Johnson. You know what I mean? Like that's just point of fact. That team was about that coaching, their defense, their offensive line. Like that's what built that team.
I think it would
in
be
Philly.
another LeBron. We appreciate you. Go on. Now.
Right. Sure they could use you somewhere in LA. Fuck out of here.
When Watson's good, we're good. Thanks.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, though. He's going to end up being like Stafford's backup or something before it's all said and done.
Well,
end up walking into a great fucking situation someday.
You know what? I truly wish nothing but the best for him. I don't think he will ever be that Joe Montana, but you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be wrong.
Yeah.
I think when Baker is Baker, he's one of the best. Or at least top 10, top 8.
Things were so bad here for so long that's what you believe.
It's
Baker's
like the
average.
gas prices. The gas prices are $4.
Right.
Then when they're $3.25, you're like, woohoo!
In 4 years, Baker had 2 awesome half seasons. Second half of his rookie year, second half of his third year, and that was it.
All
Next.
Right. Just don't, motherfucker.
Just don't.
You got any just don'ts?
Just don't deal with sluts. That's all I got. Open and shut, one sentence. Take it or leave it. I'm just telling you. The older you get, stay away from sluts.
Hashtag. Just don't do sluts. All right, I got a couple. Don't attack another country just because you want to. Putin. Leave your car, or don't leave your car on cruise control when you aren't passing anyone and there's a long line of cars behind you. I figured that shit out. I'm like, why isn't this motherfucker going anywhere? Because they're fucking retarded and they've got their shit on cruise.
I thought they were blind.
They could be. Maybe they can't see the speedometer. Maybe the steering wheel's too fluffy. I figured it out. After 6 months of highway driving every single day, there are some people that keep it on cruise control, and they don't pay the fucking attention to nothing. They don't realize there's a fucking giant snake behind them of cars, and they're doing like a quarter mile an hour faster than this guy, and they just won't ever pass him.
Right.
Because there's hills, and it all evens out and shit. And then they finally, like, you see the head move like 3 times, and they, if you're lucky,
Yeah.
they get over.
Sure.
So just don't leave your car on cruise control. Pay the fuck attention.
Yeah.
Just don't smack someone at the Oscars after you laughed at his joke.
Right.
We all know what that's fucking about.
Fucking asshole.
He's not making any more airtime than that.
No. Just don't talk shit to Mike Tyson on a motherfucking plane. You seen this?
Yeah, I've heard.
Fucking
I don't care.
dude.
I don't care if Mike Tyson's 72.
Right.
The guy's gonna give you a right,
Right.
which was my left.
It's so fucking funny, though. It's one of the best videos I've seen in a fucking while. Like, what are you doing,
Mike
man?
Tyson is hilarious for one.
Right?
He's a fucking shroomer now.
But the best part about it is like the mantra that he had when he was 20 fucking years old is still the one he goes by now. You know?
Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the fucking mouth.
Right. And it's fucking true, man. And the guy proves it over and over again. I love it, man. You know what? I have a just
that
don't.
tattoo.
I have a just don't.
Yeah.
You watch Better Call Saul.
I have.
Are you caught up?
No. It's okay.
I'm not going to give it away then.
Give it away now.
But I'm going to say this. Don't make us love somebody. And I mean love somebody and then fucking nuke them. Just because it's the last fucking season and you got to start fucking nuking people.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Dude, I'm telling you what, man. I almost fucking, like, it was hard. I had a hard time falling asleep last night. I know that's stupid over a fucking TV show, but I was fucking mad. And it's probably the second maddest I've ever been over a character getting fucking murked off a fucking show.
Fictional character?
Yeah, but it's like you become invested in these shows and like the writing and like what goes into them and like.
Now, I'm not going to get caught up for like 3 years, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, who's going to fucking die?
Yeah, I'm not going to even lead on. And there's so many characters that you're not going to know which one it is. And even if you watch Breaking Bad, you're still not going to have an idea of who it was. So.
All right. My last one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get long-winded on this.
If I could change.
I just want you to give me a hell yeah or say shut the fuck up. But just don't sell out for a TV commercial and then ask all of the country's middle class to pay for the cause just because or just after you got paid.
Who are we talking about?
About to tell you. Have you ever been watching TV? I know you have. And then a celebrity comes on the screen during a commercial and asks you to give X amount of dollars per month to help save the children, a family, or an animal. I'm sure you have.
Most people have.
I have a great fucking idea. I realize that there's strength in numbers, but this has to fucking stop. Now, don't get me wrong. If you enjoy giving money and you have the means, please feel free to do whatever you want. But if you're a part of the middle class, I'm going to tell you to stop giving your money away and to start giving your time. It's more affordable and more needed. We have way too many overpaid sports owners, athletes, and actors and actresses and so on for them to be preying on the middle class to fix everything. It is fucking bullshit.
It's never going to fucking change.
It will if you stop fucking calling the 800 numbers after the fucking infomercial. Anyone who makes more than $1 million, in my opinion, should have a portion of that per million go back to the country to support all the things that need saving. After that comes the nannies, the personal chefs, the butlers, the personal trainers, the sports cars, and the rest of the indulgence of the wealthy. Stop asking the middle class to save the world, country, / state. Instead, get all your wealthy friends together and do it. After all, if it wasn't for the middle class, you wouldn't be getting paid for playing the sports or making the movies or buying the cars that you sell. I think the middle class is already paying enough to support you. Now it's time to support the lower income and balance this shit out. That's my pedestal.
I don't agree.
Well, you're wrong.
You are allowed to have that opinion.
Why for instance, I'm going to give you a little tidbit here.
Tell me.
Elon Musk, this is going to be our next topic, maybe next podcast. But Elon Musk is about to buy Twitter. Maybe he already did.
He did.
$44 billion, something in that range. Did you know that he went to, I don't know if it's NATO. That's the right one. But he went to the powers that be over the governing countries and asked, how much would it be in your mind, to solve world hunger? And they threw out a number, and I'm going to go buy Twitter. He's got this in his mind. He's going to do this one day. He's going to attempt to do this. Let's put it that way. Because he's got billions and billions. He's just got billions upon billions, and he's going to do this. I know actors and actresses and sports people don't have billions, but owners do.
Okay.
And a lot of other people, you've got the Forbes, Fortune, top 10. There's people that have a lot, like the Bezos, there's people and groups that have shit tons of billions. Why does the middle class have to do it all? When these people...
I don't know. I need you to explain that to me more. The middle class is always going to be the working class.
No, I'm not talking about working. These infomercials where they want you to pay 19 cents every month or whatever, $19 every month or whatever it is they're asking. It's always targeting the middle class. But yet we are the people that are paying all these people's salaries by going to these games, by going to these movies, by buying the cars from these, even Elon Musk, right? He's a billionaire. Part of it's because of his car fucking explosion.
Yeah.
which is good for him.
Sure.
I am a huge Elon Musk fan. I am not downgrading this guy at all. I think he's going to take our civilization many different good places.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why. Well, I shouldn't say that. I understand 100% why they feed on the middle class, because we have hearts, we care, we want things to be better. But I don't understand when there's people that have more money in a collective group with 20 people that they got to feed on 20 million, and just it just doesn't. I don't. It seems like it's old. It's old. It's an old parlor trick. Get over it.
But why? So my question is this then. So because you're really good at business, why should you be penalized for that? Because somebody else is good
it a penalty by keeping the shit up?
Sure. I mean, has Elon Musk not done his part by creating all of these jobs and doing all of this good for people? Why should he have to give more than what he's already doing? I mean,
Elon
as much as we don't like the person that used to run the company that you used to work for, at the end of the day, a lot of people paid for a lot of families and got a lot of kids through school and did a lot of good things because that guy created all those jobs. Is he a dickhead? Yeah, absolutely he is. But how much good does somebody have to do before all of a sudden they're not subjected to having to pay more? And the other problem that you're going to run into with this is you're going to start removing the incentive. And all you're going to do...
Incentive for what?
The incentive for them to keep
I'm
growing
not paying
and keep
enough
making
money
things bigger.
already? The
Right.
middle class pay more in taxes,
But that's
more in everything.
But that's the other great part of it that you're not taking into account. You don't think that the people that are making that kind of money and that have that kind of money aren't just going to re-up with their fucking accountants to make sure that there's a way they don't fucking pay it? Like, that's exactly what's going to happen. The only thing that you're talking about that could actually ever be a plausible solution, and it still doesn't fucking work, it's been proven in other countries that it doesn't work, would be a flat tax. Everybody pays 12%. Doesn't matter if you make $50,000 a year or $500,000 a year.
That would work. Be amazing.
It sounds amazing, but it doesn't fucking work.
Why wouldn't it work?
Because what you end up with is an imbalanced fucking scale to where you still end up with those same people that have the millions and millions of dollars that are still going to find all these fucking tax loopholes. They're going to move all this money back inside of companies and stuff like that.
That's the problem with our country, that there's loopholes.
Right. But the other thing, too, you have to take into consideration is part of what moves society forward is the uber talented. I know everybody gets a fucking participation medal and a fucking ribbon these days, but the uber talent has always been fucking recognized since the beginning of fucking time. You know why Michelangelo didn't fucking work fucking stomping grapes on the fucking side? Because he was the greatest fucking painter of his generation. So he was commissioned by the Medicis to take on that shit and fucking to rule that kind of stuff. Now, fucking 600 years later, we got badass art that's like, that's fucking Da Vinci. That's fucking Michelangelo.
I don't agree with it at all. If every billionaire was like Elon Musk, we wouldn't have this problem, because he wants to solve world hunger.
Okay, but like you brought up Bezos. Bezos is a prick on a whole bunch of fucking levels. How much easier is your fucking life because of Jeff Bezos? A fucking lot. How much shit do you order on Amazon? You didn't have to make fucking trips to the store. The shit shows up in one fucking day.
I would rather
you can ship
go
it
to the
wherever
fucking
the fuck you're
store.
going. Would you?
I would.
All right.
You know what? When I order pizza, I don't fucking do delivery ever.
Well, you're
Ever.
like what? Are you a mile away from like 11 pizza places?
Doesn't matter. I could easily order that shit out. When I was a fucking 20-year-old, I ordered that shit out. I don't anymore. You know why? Because I can get in my car and go get it.
For $6. Save the $6.
It's not even because of the I just want to do it.
Okay. And that's fine, but like that's your prerogative. I'm just saying. You can't
More people should just want to do it.
Should just want to do what?
Do you know that the fucking Grubhub and shit like that is killing those businesses? Because they have to now, they're not making as much money on their sandwiches and all that shit that they're selling through Grubhub because they have to pay this additional fucking driver. It's stupid.
Because who does?
If you can't get your fucking ass out of fucking your house and go get your fast fucking food, you don't need it.
I'm not arguing that point. That's a completely
Jesus
different
Christ.
point.
How lazy can we fucking get?
Well, everybody loves Amazon.
Fuck Bezos. Fuck the fucking drive-in grocery stores. Fuck the Grubhubs. Go do shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to disagree with you on that point too, man. I'm a single fucking guy that has an entire fucking career, fucking house to take care of, and a million fucking things going on. I'm going to tell you what, I use my fucking app to order my groceries every fucking week. It takes me 4 minutes to run down there, fucking tell them I'm here.
I
they
doubt
throw my
it
shit
takes
in the
4
fucking
minutes.
car.
I've waited in those lines for one item that I bought. and
10
wanted to-
tops? Like, what am I actually dealing with here? And I don't fucking walk through the store and spend a bunch of money I don't need to be fucking spending.
Now, if you're a germaphobe and you don't want to catch COVID,
germaphobe.
then I can see where that's handy. The no contact motherfucker. But you know what? I'm as busy as anybody. I'm driving an hour to softball games, doubleheaders, standing
Right.
in the cold.
Sure.
I know what it's like to be busy. You don't have to have all this shit. Some of it's nice.
If there wasn't a demand for it, it wouldn't be there.
No.
It's just like CNN Plus.
Anything
There's no demand for it, it goes away.
Anything we can do to make people lazier, we do it.
And as long as people have the money to throw at it, to be lazy, they're going to keep doing it.
But they don't want to spend that. Here's another one of those where certain companies do weird things.
Yeah.
ASPCA, animal.
Yeah. I know who they are.
It's not PETA, but they protect animals.
Yeah.
They work really hard. They do a good job. But my wife was a member, and then like once every 3 months they would send us an envelope, and in that envelope was a shiny brand new nickel. Might seem like not like much, but to my mathematical mind and my wife's, how many envelopes do you think they sent out like that?
Probably a lot.
1 million throughout the country?
Probably.
But they want us to put our $20 back in there when they spent all that money.
That's capitalism, man. You spend money to make money. That's capitalism.
And you also piss people off by sending out money. And like somebody else was telling me that my stepfather was telling me that he used to, I can't remember what it was that he used to
Dole out to.
give money to, but they started sending a dollar bill, a crisp dollar bill. And that's when he fucking quit. How can you afford to send this out when you want money from me? It just doesn't make any sense. It pisses people off.
Well,
I don't know why they don't realize that.
somehow the marketing campaign has worked. It's continued to go, and it's been done by multiple companies.
I don't think so. You know how long it's been since I've got a nickel in the mail?
Right. Well, you're not a member of the ASPCA anymore either.
Apparently not.
See? So I'm just saying there's more than one way to look at it. Economics is a larger problem than just take from the poor.
It should
take from the rich.
It's not just take from the rich. Balance it out.
Balance. You're talking about something.
I don't mean even equal.
You're talking about socialism, man.
In any ways, that percentage that I'm talking about will be so small, but it would be enough to do so much. Than to have some fucking celebrity on my screen asking me for that $20 a month.
Yeah, but the other thing that I think doesn't get taken into account here is if it bleeds, it leads, man. It's always the bad shit you always see on TV. You don't hear every fucking one of these stories about how these people actually fucking dole out fuckloads of money to shitloads of people. And it's a real thing in their life. I mean,
Well, of course,
fucking,
there are
how many years ago,
philanthropists, for sure.
before he was even president, fucking Trump blew a tire here in fucking Cleveland. This fucking guy stops, helps him fucking change his tire on the side of the fucking road. Trump fucking pays his house off. You didn't hear about any of that shit until he was fucking running for president.
Well, and you know what? That is more of shit we should hear about.
But I'm not disagreeing with you. But like that, people like that have philanthropy to them. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I'm not exalting Trump. Don't get me wrong. Voted for him once. If he fucking runs again, I'll probably vote for him again, especially based on what we're going up against. But I'm just saying, if you start taking and you make them feel like they're already meeting their obligation, it's going to take that natural, inherent part of them that wants to do good and be good for people because you're going to make them feel like they're already paying it. And they might have given more than what they would have already done on their own.
Well, then do that. Then do that. Now, here's the problem, though.
Okay.
How many multimillionaires or billionaires know, because it's a fucking game,
Yeah.
that if they give a certain amount, it lowers their tax bracket?
Why do you think you got a bonus all those years?
How many years?
20? 15? At least 15. Right?
There was a decade where I didn't get one.
Right. I'm not saying that that's not true, but do you know why you got it? You didn't get it out of the goodness of his heart. You got it because if he didn't give it to you, it was going to go to the
Do you
tax
know
man.
why I got it? I can tell you 100% why I got it. Because
Tax
he
man.
modeled his fucking bonus off of Lincoln Electric, to be exactly specific.
I got that.
Yeah, exactly. To
It's
drop
all
it
a
down.
tax fucking write-off.
Right.
Right. It wasn't,
get it.
But that's what I'm saying. So, like, great. Those are still in place. They use those all the time.
And he also fucked the shit out of us by scoring you and removing as much as he could, but it's still, whatever. It's a fucking endless.
The pile was the pile. That was the whole thing that nobody ever understood. It didn't matter how many points everybody scored. The pile that was being doled out was the pile that was being doled out.
I know. And the pile that he didn't pay you and me was a pile that he got to keep for he and she.
Well, it just went to other people. The pilot was getting paid out one way or another, and it wasn't going to be bigger or smaller based on anything other than fucking tax numbers. It's all about EBITDA at that point.
Well, he's an employee. He got paid.
Oh, there's nobody saying he didn't. Do you remember the years at the end when he was getting ready for retirement and they were doing a 100% match on 401k?
Mm-hmm.
That's not even in existence anymore.
No.
You don't know anybody that's ever gotten that. Outside of us.
What, was it once?
No, it was like 4 years.
Okay, well, that was good.
Yeah. It didn't benefit the young guys as much as it did the old guys that were putting that full 25% in.
Yeah, I was probably one of the young guys.
Getting paid for it, you know? All right, last topic, and then we got to roll out for tonight.
Well,
Elon.
it is.
But you got to touch on it. You can't let it go.
Yeah, now that we've talked about it, right?
You still got to talk on
We're
it.
only at 115. It's not that bad. All right, so Elon Musk, we kind of touched on it. He's
If he would run for president, he would win.
Did you say that he bought Twitter? It's done?
He is active controlling Twitter. Yes.
Okay. He's going to get us to Mars. We all know that at some point. Hopefully it's in his lifetime. I mean, he's 50. He's not that old. And autonomous cars, I believe he's going to be leading that at some point.
He's been.
So what's next? Well, let's not go too far. So I think Twitter.
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 What have you been on, bro?
Listen.
I am.
Do you remember when Trump was in office? Do you remember the one social media that Trump loved? And they shut his ass down?
He's not back yet. They brought Tucker back yesterday.
No. What was the social media platform that they shut his ass down on?
Twitter.
I'm going to tell you what. Now, I don't personally think that Trump is going to ever run again. I think maybe his kids are. But I'm going to tell you what. They ain't going to fucking shut Trump up no more. I think this is one of these reasons. You don't think so?
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come back onto the platform or not.
No, but what I'm saying is I don't think they're going to. I think he's doing this. Elon, he doesn't want the freedom of speech to be suppressed anymore.
I agree with that. And like the people that I laughed, I don't know if you watched any, if you've seen any clips from like MSNBC over the last couple
Probably
days.
losing their mind.
Dude, but the fucking funny part is the shit they're fucking saying. Dude, I sat there and listened to this fucking guy yesterday go postal about how this is the most dangerous thing that's ever happened in our society because what might happen with Elon in control is you might have a situation where the people that are now running this, namely Elon Musk, will control the information that you get and they might back one party instead of, could you imagine if they were partisan and didn't back both parties equally like CNN does and like MSNBC does? Right? That's what they're claiming.
Whoa.
This is the fucking douchebaggery that we fucking deal with on the other side. It's the sense of no fucking sense. I was laughing. I was literally laughing out loud listening to this guy. I'm like, what fucking land do you live in, man? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? But that's what it is. They've had all of the fucking control on all this shit for so long.
They're scared to death.
And even Bezos fucking coming out talking shit. That was the best fucking part of the whole day. You see that?
No.
He was like, well, it looks like China just got some more influence at the table. Does anybody realize that dude just invested like $70 billion into expanding the empire of Amazon in China? Anybody aware of that happening? That's what
Bezos did?
Oh, yeah. And fucking Elon was like, that's funny. Like, threw it right back in his face. Like, is that what's going on with Amazon or no? So I love that he barbs back and forth. He's like the only one that's fucking willing to fight this guy.
You said it earlier that if Elon wanted to run.
Dude, if Elon runs, man, you talk about a rock star in the fucking White House.
Now, listen.
Woo!
He's got, in my opinion, he's got 25 years before he needs to run. But you put that guy in his mid-70s, let's go Elon, baby. I'm voting for your ass.
Dude, but you put him with somebody like DeSantis, championship material right there.
I don't know who that is.
The governor of Florida.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Rock star. Ron DeSantis? Dude, you're going to hear that name pretty
Rhonda?
soon. Ron DeSantis.
Okay. I was like, is it a she?
No. But he's the one that's fucking fighting Disney. We didn't even get into fucking Disney. He's the one who did you see what he did to Disney this last week?
Oh, wait. I did hear a little bit about Disney.
Yeah, but
They haven't been paying taxes for like 40 million years.
And they've been set up as a self-governing state inside the state of Florida. They ripped it all away. You no longer can self-govern, and you have to pay your full fucking share of taxes now.
So it's 4 to 10. Well, no, it's probably 4 to 20 grand, whatever you want to spend to take your family to Disney. Probably about 6, because it took me, I think, about 6 grand to go to Disney with my 2 small kids.
Yeah.
But you could have paid 30 grand, probably.
That number's moving on up now, bro. And that's if it stays in Florida.
And now you're going to... I never realized that they didn't pay taxes on anything.
It's a fucking scam. Do you think that it's by accident that Disney owns ABC and ESPN?
And Marvel?
And Hulu?
And Star Wars?
That's what I'm... Dude, you think this is by accident? You think it's because they're not making any fucking money? Hand over fist. It's a small world after all. Yeah, dude. Fuck Disney.
Wow.
And then the funniest part about it is that it's all self-inflicted. They fucking hired a billion fucking lefties to run that fucking company. They decide they want to start teaching kids about shit that kids shouldn't be fucking learning anything about during fucking development. Boom! Out come the fucking rug. Down goes fucking Disney. Netflix is fucking falling apart. Have you seen Netflix?
No.
Dude, first time in 10 years. Losing subscribers actively. Their stock has tanked 30% in a week.
Why?
Because they have fucking shows on constantly now that are fucking hate against one group of fucking people. The entire fucking right. And then have you seen the guy pregnant fucking series that's on there now?
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but like
I haven't even seen
the number of people that are citing that as the reason they're leaving is hilarious. He's Expecting is what the name of it is. Yeah, dude. It's some shit.
Wow, I didn't know I should hate Netflix.
Yeah, I'm about to pull the plug on it. And the funny thing is I've been talking about it for a while that Netflix sucks these days. They don't put out enough fucking specials anymore. They don't keep up on their fucking shows. It takes a fucking year to get 6 new episodes of anything out. And they haven't come out with a badass brand new show other than their small documentaries in fucking years.
Yeah.
Ozark's about to be over. When Ozark's over, it might be the end of the flicks for me, man. So things are getting fucking wild. But yeah.
Elon.
It's not an even playing field, but it's a horse in the fucking race now.
With Twitter?
Against the censorship. So now we got one network in Fox and we got one social media platform in Twitter.
But we're 2 years into Biden, right?
Almost. This fall is going to get fucking wild.
So we're 2 years into Biden, just about.
If things flip in the fall, then it's going to be another. Now, if things flip in the fall in the House, the Senate, or both, the next 2 years are going to be nothing but a fucking stalemate.
But what I'm saying is, this is all precursors. Things are getting into place. You got your social media platform, which can't block anybody no more. Well, I mean, I guess they can, but it might only be. I mean, I would. Why block anybody? Let people fucking talk. I can remember you couldn't say certain shit on our show. We talked about election fraud. I got fucking backhanded for that.
Yep.
YouTube, because they didn't like the fucking name.
I get it, dude. It's cool.
Well, no, it's not cool. It's like we live in America now.
But you know what? I love it. I love that somebody fucking took a shit on us. Great. That means that we're doing something right. They don't heckle losers.
I guess not. So, real quick, Twitter, Mars, we haven't got to the fully autonomous, and I thought we'd almost be there a little closer.
The hard part is, like, I think we brought this up on the show a couple times. If not, I'll reiterate it. They have made tons of successful trips with, like, semi-trucks, taking them across the country without drivers. Like, leaving at one station, pulling into another the entire way. Loaded up full of fuel. There's not a single stop along the way. The problem that you're going to run into with passengers is the question of morality. If your options are hitting a semi head-on and you dying, or you veering off to the right-hand side and hitting that buggy and killing those 4 people, but you're going to live, that is a decision that car is going to have to now make in that situation. And that's the problem, is you're talking about questions of morality.
Why would you get in that situation?
What do you mean?
Why would you get in that situation?
So,
because my car, it's more up to date than some, and it will slow down on its own automatically.
But not all of them do.
It doesn't have to make.
It's never going to be foolproof, though. That's what the problem is.
What I'm saying is, you have to go all or nothing. You can't unless you have.
But you can never mandate that people have to do that.
Listen, you would have to have separate roads.
Do you understand even what you just said as far as an infrastructure problem? You're talking about an unclimbable mountain right there.
I don't think so. You said they're gonna make a train that goes to Cleveland to Detroit.
Yeah.
So why don't you just start small, and then by the time everything gets developed, then all the roads will be opened.
It's never going to work like that. We can't repair the bridges in this country because not enough money is pumped into the infrastructure.
That's not true. The reason we can't repair the bridges and the roads is because they've decided that it's a fucking career move now, and they take their time and they do these chunks and they take fucking years.
No, the problem is that we're doing things like giving $150 million a year to Libya for gender studies instead of putting that into fucking fixing a whole bunch of bridges.
Hey, there you go.
But I'm saying, like, that's what the actual fucking problem is the amount of shit that's earmarked on fucking bills instead of putting the shit back into our fucking country. So,
if we want to be the greatest country, we have to
act fucking
be
like it.
self-reliant, whether you believe it or not. You
Yeah.
need to have our own oil, have our own steel mills,
Yeah.
actually make steel again,
Yeah.
and build things fucking like Americans.
Right.
Build things to fucking last. Jesus. Ugh. That pisses me off.
Fucking China model, dog.
Made in China.
Use it, toss it. Use it, toss it. So, hey, for today, we'll take the fucking win. We got fucking Elon. He is the fucking man.
He is.
He's going to be one of the great people from our time on this planet
I
that
don't
people
even
look
know.
back on.
Is he conservative? Is he down the middle? Is he liberal? I mean, I don't even know. I mean, you like him. He must be conservative.
I mean, he's definitely, even if he doesn't come out and depict that, because he really is a man. God, I know this sounds so fucking cliche. He's a man of the people. He wants people to all have a fair shake at things. He
Well,
wants
then he
people to be
shouldn't
able to,
be either.
Right. What I'm telling you is like the idea of a fair shake and the government not fucking taking every single thing they can from you. That's called conservatism.
Right.
Less government, more individual rights.
See,
that is conservatism.
I personally don't consider myself left or right. I just want to be a fucking American and live the fucking American dream.
But I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know how many times I got to say it. I fucking voted both ways. But what the Democratic Party is right now is not viable. Maybe when Bill Maher is getting hate because he's shitting on the state of the Democratic Party. A huge fucking lefty. At some point in time, you got to fucking realize, man.
Gotta wake up.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying that the fucking right's perfect either. Trust me, there's plenty of fucking shitheads fucking rolling around in there doing stupid fucking things.
Yeah.
You know? I'm just saying. There's certain things that need to be fixed. You know how to fix that? By taking a look at mental health. You know? So if you are really struggling with something, you're not really sure where to turn, do yourself a favor, pick up the phone. You can reach them at, let me make sure because it's been a while and I don't want to say it wrong, it's 1-800-662-4357 for the National Mental Health Awareness Hotline.
Absolutely. So if you have bad thoughts about hurting yourself, others, or just can't kick that substance abuse habit, give them a call.
Thanks for joining us. Send us your hate. Talk to you soon.
That's right.
No pip pip.
Pip pip.
Cheerio.
I forgot. It's been too long.